Welcome back to NXT. Syndicate standing by. Stark says, Undisputed Kingdom, you messed with the wrong people when you took out Robert Roode. What we've done to you so far is nothing compared to what you got coming your way. You best believe we're getting ours. We're going to challenge you to show up this week on TNA, and you know what? Moose and I will even put the TNA tag titles on the line against any two of you. Just show up and get that beating. Ricky Stark says, putting out the challenge to Undisputed Kingdom after everything that went down that took out Robert Roode from Money in the Bank, and now they want their revenge. But here's Nico Vance out here saying you need to worry less about Undisputed Kingdom and worry about Nico Vance and Brooke Jensen's here tonight, and when we beat you, put those tag titles on the line against us. Starks replies with, you want to wade into the deep end, fellas? Well, bring it on, son. We'll put you down quick and easy. And that transitions us right into our opening contest here, as Brooks and Jensen have challenged the Syndicate of Ricky Starks and Moose, the current TNA Tag Team Champions. I know I kind of ran through that really fast, but they were talking fast. That's all I can say. But anyway, yeah, so we've got a match here, an impromptu match. We knew that Moose and Starks were set for competition. They had kind of an open challenge. They were waiting to see who would step up to the plate. And Brooks and Jensen, presumably sent out here by Sean Spears, but out here nonetheless to take on the to take on the Syndicate. And should they defeat them, who knows? Maybe they'll be challenging for the TNA Tag Titles instead of Undisputed Kingdom. I don't know. We're going to all be waiting to see how Adam Cole and the rest of Undisputed Kingdom reply to the Syndicate tomorrow on AEW Dynamite. See if they show up on TNA later in the week. But right now, we've got tag team action, non-title match here, as NXT's Brooks Jensen and Nico Vance currently getting beat by the Syndicate's Ricky Starks and Moose. Now, we've talked about them before. The Syndicate, they kind of float between all the different brands. They're a faction made up of superstars from different brands. And Moose is still currently the TNA X Division champion as well. So lots of gold in the Syndicate. Robert Roode was looking to get the Money in the Bank briefcase taken out by Adam Cole after Adam Cole was beaten by Robert Roode, who... It was a gauntlet match a few weeks ago on NXT, and Adam Cole was a surprise entrant. Robert Roode and Adam Cole were the last two in that gauntlet, and Robert Roode defeated Adam Cole to gain his spot into Money in the Bank. But because of the brutal attack on Robert Roode by Roderick Strong and Adam Cole, Robert Roode was injured and put on the shelf and taken out of the Money in the Bank men's ladder match. That started this back and forth battle between the Undisputed Kingdom and the Syndicate, and we're going to continue going on with that. Apparently, possibly a TNA tag title match on TNA this week. Big pump kick there by Moose. Now Brooks getting some punches in, doing a little road dog shuffle here. Oh, but Moose with the pounce sends Brooks Jensen, who is not a small man, into orbit. Gets the tag to Nico Vance. Now Nico Vance and Moose squaring off. Oh my God, Moose just accidentally ran straight through the referee trying to get to Nico Vance, but then tosses Nico Vance like he is a baby. Moose is scary strong, and showing off that strength here. And so far, this has been all Syndicate, all Moose and Starks. Vance and Jensen not looking good in the eyes of their mentor, Sean Spears, I'm sure, who's not even out here, by the way. Not even out here scouting, not even out here watching. And Starks picking up Nico Vance. Big sit-out power bomb. Batista bomb, if you will. Liger bomb, whatever you want to call it. Ricky Starks showing he's got a little bit of power in his game too. Nico Vance with a hard punch to the gut there, though. What a dynamic team this is. Ricky Starks and Moose. Just I mean, Moose has got all the power, all the swagger. Stark's got a lot of swagger himself. He's got, you know, he runs his mouth with the best of them, is entertaining and incredibly skilled in the middle of that ring. These two make an incredible pair. They've been great tag team champions, and paired with Robert Roode and then the rookie of the group, Brant Fowler, who's held his own against vets like Rob Van Dam. It's an incredible faction. But in terms of both AEW and especially NXT, the Undisputed Kingdom, one of the best factions to ever do it. So it's going to be interesting to watch that feud develop as these two factions go at it. But first, they got to get through Vance and Jensen here, but they're doing a really good job of that. So far, they have dominated this match. Vance and Jensen have gotten very little offense mounted against the Syndicate in our opening contest here on NXT, in the shadow of Money in the Bank, where Cameron Grimes became Mr. Money in the Bank. This series of tags, they're a little miscommunication there, not indecision, not sure what they were going for, I guess. And that gave Nico Vance a little bit of an opening, attacking Moose on the outside. But Cameron Grimes, as we saw on Monday Night Raw last night, somehow bought his way into the Money in the Bank ladder match, won it, and miraculously, mysteriously, magically became the Intercontinental Champion as well, even though the Intercontinental Champion was not in the match. As far as fallout from Money in the Bank here, obviously the issues between the Syndicate and Undisputed Kingdom, but also in our main event here tonight, as Starks goes for another sit-up powerbomb on Nico Vance. That's two so far delivered on the big man. Now takes out Brooks Jensen. Let's see what Starks is going for here. Sends him into the corner hard. But in our main event here tonight, we will see two more participants of that men's ladder match as Moose and Starks go for the double team. That's that spear and clothesline combination that they've been using as their finisher. Brooks in to break it up, though. That might have been all she wrote had he not come in to save his partner. But two other participants in that men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Carmello Hayes, who's just had issues with a lot of people. We saw him on Raw last night competing against Jey Uso. Both of those had a little tension during that ladder match and settled it in the ring on Raw. And now he's complaining about Keith Lee, NXT's Keith Lee, who powerbombed Carmello Hayes during that Money in the Bank ladder match. And Carmello Hayes took issue with it. Nico with a roll-up here could steal one, but no, Moose out before the count starts. Big kick to the face, followed by a drop kick. Beautiful drop kick there by Moose. Oh, and setting him up possibly for the spear here. And he connects. Takes Nico Vance down. Now he takes Brooks off the apron as well. Sending Vance into the corner. Oh, but Vance out of the way, dodging possibly another attempt at that double team finisher of theirs. But anyway, Carmello Hayes taking issue with Keith Lee, saying he's trying to, end his career or whatever, and demanded a match with Keith Lee here tonight. So in the main event, Carmello Hayes, fresh off losing to Jey Uso last night, as Moose goes for a cover after that shoulder power slam and gets the 3 count. Jensen checking on his tag team partner. The Syndicate victorious here tonight. Whoa, wait, Moose got a chair. Smashes Brooks over the back. Now Starks has one too, and they are swinging chairs for days. taken out their challengers. We've got Big E in the ring now. But anyway, Keith Lee accepted the challenge. Carmello Hayes, citing his grievances, and now he's going to have to deal with his complaints at the hands of Keith Lee in the main event of NXT tonight. But right now, we've got NXT's North American champion, the Don, Tony D'Angelo, accompanied by Stacks, coming out here to meet Big E. Now, this is interesting because a few weeks ago, Tony D and Big E were caught on camera talking in the parking lot. Tony D says, "All right, Big E, it's good to see you. I'm glad you decided to come to your senses and take the Don's advice. Kofi and Woods moved on. Now it's time you do too. Obviously, you've considered my offer, so what do you say?" Big E says, "Tony, I've thought long and hard about our conversation a few weeks ago. I've weighed the pros and cons, talked to my friends and family, and yes, I have come to a decision. But I want to make one thing perfectly clear first. If I do this, I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it for the fans. I'm not doing it for you, for NXT, or even WWE. I'm doing it for myself and all the people who have supported me along the way." That's fair, that's fair. I can respect that, but does that mean you're doing it? And he says, yes, I'm doing it, Tony. What is he doing? What's Big E doing? He says, in 2 weeks, right here on NXT, Big E is returning to the ring. I'm back, baby, and this time, it's all on my terms. Wow. Blockbuster announcement by Big E, who we thought his career was over. He's transitioned to an analyst. There was that big fallout with Woods and Kofi, several months ago, where they basically told Big E that he ruined everything, that he wasn't their friend anymore. They didn't want anything to do with him. Broke his heart, broke their friendship, and we've seen a complete attitude change with the New Day. And now Big E is branching out on his own. He's returning to the ring, which nobody thought was going to be possible. Big E is back, and he's going to debut here on NXT in 2 weeks' time. That is crazy. That is incredible. Can't wait to see Big E back in action. See if he can do it. It can be very interesting. And Tony D, though, said my offer. So are there strings attached to this return? He did say he was doing it for himself, not for Tony, and he was doing it for the fans, and he was going to do it on his terms. But Tony D caught him in the parking lot, had a conversation with him, went back and forth. Now he's come out here and accepted the offer that the Don put forward. What exactly does that offer entail, and how is that going to affect the family, and how is it going to affect Big E? Only time will tell. But right now, Carmello Hayes in the ring, Keith Lee making his way down to the ring for this main event match. These two went at it in Money in the Bank. Neither one of them were successful in that match, but they did have a few moments where they got pretty aggressive with each other, citing earlier that powerbomb by Keith Lee on Carmello Hayes on the floor, which rubbed Carmello the wrong way. And so Carmello here trying to get under the skin of Keith Lee, trying to get some payback. And we'll see how well that goes for him. It didn't go so well with Jey Uso, but we'll see if he fares better against Keith Lee. I don't like his chances, but we're about to see what happens as Carmello Hayes goes up against the massive, big Keith Lee, who just pretty much decimated Carmello Hayes in the opening seconds of this match. Big body block, then some spinning elbows and fists. Now he's attacking his limbs. Keith Lee in complete control here, taking charge of the match and punishing Carmello Hayes in the corner. Carmello Hayes coming out. Oh, that was a little, I don't know what that was, but he somehow managed to take Keith Lee down and get him in a crossface, and is holding on to it pretty well. Keith Lee manages to fight out of it. Swings Carmello hard into the corner. Got busted his spine. Oh, and look at this, going for the power bomb. Shades of Money in the Bank, and the whole reason we're here, that ticked Carmello Hayes off. But man, he just got caught with that shoulder. Oh my God, that springboard kick by Keith Lee at this stage in his career took Carmello Hayes by surprise as much as it took us by surprise. And so far, Carmello Hayes not faring too well. Big moonsault incoming and connects. The big man crashing down on the ribs of Carmello Hayes. And taking nothing away from Carmello Hayes. Both of these men, former NXT champions, had their eras. Carmello Hayes obviously has had a little bit more success on the main roster as Keith Lee gets a 2.5 there for the first pinfall of the match. But Carmello Hayes has had a little bit more success on the main roster than Keith Lee was able to. Keith Lee would go to AEW, become a tag team champion, but then, was on the shelf for a while, kind of floundered. His best years were in NXT, and that's why he's back here now. Arguably, so far, so were Carmello Hayes. But Carmello Hayes has a bright future right now on the SmackDown brand. But, he's wrestled on Raw and NXT, was in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And I understand he's got a match scheduled for SmackDown as well. Keeping busy is Carmello Hayes. Oh, big knee followed by a roundhouse kick to the back of the head. But Carmello Hayes back up. Oh, neck breaker takes the big man down. Carmello Hayes looking to get back into this now. Sends Keith Lee into the ropes. Big drop kick barely moves the man. Oh, now he's going to trade fists with Keith Lee, but he's getting the better of it. Oh, but Keith Lee fighting back now. Oh, blocks that one. It's a big punch, a big chop across the chest of Carmello Hayes. Carmello blocking now. Oh, Carmello wins the exchange with a pump knee to the face, causing Keith Lee to roll to the outside to regroup. And Carmello Hayes feeling himself now. Diving out. Oh, but Keith Lee out of the way. And Carmello Hayes crashes hard onto the floor. Reversal though. And Carmello Hayes showing something here. Showing why. Oh, kip up by Keith Lee though. Showing why he was the NXT champion and showing why he is him. We are seeing the clash of eras here between Keith Lee and Carmello Hayes. We've already seen like some tension between Keith Lee and Trick Williams too, which is another clash of eras. And I'm sure we'll see that match down the line. But right now, Carmello Hayes, and I think Keith Lee might be busted open, actually. Big power slam. Yeah, he's busted open on his right, over his right eye, or on the side of his forehead, possibly. Big kick by Carmello Hayes as Keith Lee charges in. Oh, is he going to try to pick him up? Oh, he does. He connects and goes for the cover. Oh, but Keith Lee out with power, with authority. Now Keith Lee picks up Carmello Hayes. Oh, pop up, power spirit bomb. Takes Carmello Hayes down, goes for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. And Keith Lee has defeated Carmello Hayes. That's 2 nights in a row that Carmello Hayes has picked a fight with a competitor from the Money in the Bank ladder match and come out on the losing end. We'll see if Carmello Hayes can fare better on SmackDown, but for tonight, your winner as we close out NXT, Keith Lee.